Welcome back to another episode of Improvisation. We haven't done one of these in a while. This one I'm titling The Relative Major of the Parallel Minor. All right? Now, if that sounds like a music theory riddle from hell, it pretty much is. Let's break it down and then I'll show you the actual improv, okay? Now, for those of you who don't know what the relative and parallels are in music, this might be over your head. So in the description, I'm going to leave links to parallel and relative videos that I've put out in the past, all right? But for those of you who are familiar with relative minor, major, and parallel minor and major, you'll probably either already know this or be able to follow along. So the idea here is that we're going to be doing two chords back to back. All right. Now, what's really cool about these two chords is that they are the same quality of chord. They're both going to be major sevenths, but they're not going to be from the same key. And that brings me to the point of the title, Relative Major of the Parallel Minor. So the second chord we're going to do is a C major 7. And I'm employing the open shape for the major 7 on the A. And I'm going to recycle that with the bar to get to the C. All right, so we're keeping it. Keeping it very easy on the fingers. We're just going to slide with the shape and apply the bar. We're going from A major 7 to C major 7. Now, like I said, back to the explanation behind this riddle. The relative major of the parallel minor. So we have two different chords here. They're both the same quality, but they're not part of the same key. All right. With music theory, we like to find justification for things as to why they work, right? So there's this concept in music that I consider it a concept. We're calling it the relative major of the parallel minor. What that means is the C major 7, we'll just call it the key of C, because that would be your one chord. The key of C is the relative major scale of the parallel minor of A major. All right, so now let's reverse that. A major has a parallel minor known as A minor. A minor is the relative minor of C major. So there's a link, all right? There's a link between A major and A minor being parallel, and then there's a link between A minor and C major being relative. So we're picking out two chords of the same quality from two different keys. The theoretical reason as to why it works is because the C major 7 is the relative major of A minor, and A minor is the parallel minor of A major. All right, so this is just as much an improvisation exercise as it is a music theory riddle for your brain. All right, so again, you're just going to play these two back and forth. Again, we're employing just the regular open on the A, and then we're employing a bar shape for that major 7 on the C. Just playing back and forth. All right, I really find that playing two chords of the same quality is really cool. All right, but hopefully that made sense. It's a really cool concept. It really makes you see the connections between the scales, and that's what music theory is all about. Get some improv in, practice, have fun. Thanks for watching.